Kayla Harrison is gonna fight Ketlen in Utah, and I do have to say I did not see this coming. I even did a short video about Ketlen not having any place to be calling out Kayla, but apparently I was wrong in that. I had no idea that Kayla was gonna be willing to take on anybody following her Holly Holm victory at UFC 300 that wasn't involving a title, whether it be interim or the actual thing. And all of a sudden, this bantamweight title scenario for the women becomes even more interesting just because of Ketlen Vieira. And rightfully so. Ketlen is in the top 5 rankings. She did have a legitimate case to complain about Kayla leapfrogging, and she is an actual threat to Kayla. Kayla could definitely lose this fight. That is definitely on the table, which makes me all that more of a fan of Kayla Harrison. Also all that more of a fan of Ketlen Vieira for wanting this smoke way before it was even a thing. It's refreshing for me to see Kayla being willing to take on another challenge before her title shot, which to a lot of people is seemingly inevitable. And it goes right in with something I was saying, that Kayla doesn't have a ton of time to be at bantamweight because she's gonna have trouble eventually cutting the weight unless she has found some type of permanent method to minimize the struggle and challenges that come with it. This is very smart because Kayla doesn't get out of shape. She stays in camp and she's able to keep that 135 goal in the vicinity in her day-to-day routine. I'm sure that she has put on some weight in the interim since UFC 300. She even admitted it with the Ariel interview, which went pretty awkward if you ask me. This is also likely an in-case thing if Julianna or Raquel were to A, be injured, or B, miss weight. The weight is a concern on the side of Julianna for me because she's been out for so long. Doing the weight cut may be a challenge for her this time. Maybe it won't be. I guess we're going to see. Injuries definitely concern me because this happens frequently with both of them, unfortunately. So Kayla being there as a backup, even if both fell out of the fight, right? Doing an interim or something with Kayla and Ketlen in Utah if disaster strikes, right? Shout out Busta Rhymes. It's there. So smart on the UFC booking it, and props to Ketlen wanting and taking it, and Kayla also wanting and taking it. Whoever wins that fight, which I do understand Kayla is likely the favorite, the general consensus favorite, whoever wins that fight, there's no doubt they deserve a title shot, no doubt whatsoever. And I like to see this. I like to see people fighting for their opportunity. Kayla and Ketlen are G's for making this fight happen. No doubt about it. All my respect to them because it's a risk for both of them, big time. And I had said in my video about the state of the women's bantamweight division that Kayla is the perfect disruptor, and Julianna and Raquel need to finish the story. And it looks like that's what's gonna happen. And it's a large part to Kayla wanting to do the right thing because she's such a competitor. Because Kayla is a fucking Olympian, and Olympians do things on a different level. So right now it looks like Utah is having a mini tournament, fatal 4-way to borrow from the WWE, if you will, as long as everyone stays injury free and these fights hold up together. This is interesting for the women's bantamweight division. And people keep trying to say, oh, there's no, I'm not talking about fans, I'm talking about like the media members. There is something here to pay attention to and drive a narrative, and everyone doesn't want to do it because they're lazy. It's even possible that Julianna and Raquel become the main event, which we may find out shortly. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I do believe if it is, unfortunately, there's going to be this like general backlash about, oh no, it's a main event with Raquel and Julianna, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, that place will sell out, no one will leave until the fights are over. except like maybe a few dozen or something. Ilya Topuria Max Holloway, I said in a previous video that I'm going to delete, so if you didn't see it, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll use a clip right here to let you know. I I already knew it, that they were being moved to Abu Dhabi in October instead of being the headliner at Utah. I said this like 2 weeks ago, and over the weekend, everyone decided that they were going to go crazy about it. So I'm not a breaking news and weekly reaction to every single fight card type of guy. I don't have the time for it. If I make thousands of dollars here at some point, maybe I will do that, but that's not what I'm able to do right now. However, if you want to get the here and there accurate surprise information, be sure to come back and check in every now and then. I knew this was happening, so yeah, that in effect should put Raquel and Julianna as the main event, which good. It's very good for Raquel. I mean, Julianna has already had a main event or two, and it's good for Julianna as well. Julianna's attitude is what concerns me about this whole situation with the division. Yes, I've been hard on her, but what I actually want is a good fight, a good build, tell the story, do promos, but be a little bit balanced, right? And it kind of sucks because I don't know what they're going to do to gaslight the fans into thinking Julianna's this deserving competitor for it. I just got through saying when I reviewed her interview with Ariel that she does deserve the title shot, that she's the #1 contender. Right after that, I said how she got there and how she remains there is a totally different story. And here is that different story. Kayla arrived in April for UFC 300. Since then, she has already fought someone in the top 10. She is about to fight another in the top 10. Meanwhile, Julianna is getting this title shot. She's been out longer than Amanda Nunes and hasn't beaten anyone in the top 25. Now, there is already an animosity and tension, if you will, towards Julianna. Most people cannot wait to see her, quote, lose or get beat up. Some people come here and, try to get a rise out of Raquel fans, I guess, by saying, can't wait for Julianna to rip her to pieces. This is superfan stuff that I can't even get involved with because that's weird. But based and informed fans are beginning to ask, why are we even doing this anymore? Because the moon is beginning to wane on the hype of the Julianna Peña factor. And part of it is because of what Kayla's doing. She is taking on contenders to prove she is the best, while Julianna is not. The other part of this is that Julianna continues to only talk to Ariel Helwani, and she had to talk to people during International Fight Week. That's part of the job. But she's not going to talk to anyone that's not Ellen or Ariel or has 1 million, 2 million subscribers. And when she does talk to them, as specifically Ariel is a giant fanboy of her. We all know this. Even Kayla knows it. That's why Kayla wouldn't give him a lot of information in their interview, which I will touch on here later, but he just tries to get her to talk shit and do sound bites. And if you pay close enough attention at certain points, he'll ask her a question and then ask again and dive deeper to something to kind of trigger something out of her. And you can see his facial expression change. And he'll even moan something like, yeah. That's what I wanted, right? Kayla does not give that to him. And Kayla will talk trash, but she doesn't do it with Ariel because she doesn't trust him. Rightfully so. He wants to drive Raquel Pennington, and this is my opinion, but I'm going off the past 7 years with Raquel, Julianna, and Amanda Nunes. Interestingly enough, Kayla asked if he interviewed Amanda, and he said she's very difficult to get a hold of. But anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. I've done my research on it. Maybe I'm missing something, but Ariel's only interviewed Raquel twice, maybe 3 times. And he's been trying to push her out of this narrative the whole time. He was trying to, hype up the shit talking between Myra and Julianna. And now, over the past 2 weeks, he's been trying to make Kayla jump in with Julianna and talk a bunch of bullshit on camera for his show. Allegedly, in my opinion, but definitely that's how it comes across. And I think that's why he doesn't interview Raquel. Maybe they don't like each other for some reason, but she doesn't fall into his shit talking, hype driving, the narrative he wants for the fight programming, right? Over time, people grow up. And what I mean by that is if you get exposed to the same joke over and over again, it becomes less and less funny, right? And this is kind of what Julianna is doing, not calling her a joke necessarily, but she's treating everything as a joke. We have not really had anything serious from her, right? I gave her praise with her latest interview with Ariel because she is talking about certain things in moderation that are interesting and that should be driving the narrative, but it's sandwiching between complete dismissive behavior of anyone in the division, always laughing and always joking, and not sounding like a serious title contender at all. Not even like Colby Covington serious, where like, dude, this guy's talking crazy shit. She's not even doing that. She's just talking like this is just a big game and joke to her. And she has already said she's only interested in big fights. For her, don't get much bigger than Raquel and Kayla, but she doesn't see it that way. And it sucks to have such an interesting story at your feet, one half of it completely just dismiss it. Now, for casuals, that comes across as like, okay. And some people think she's like super cute or whatever. If that overrides anything about the fight or the story for you, you know, I'm not talking to you and you're not a part of this conversation. So I don't know what to say to you. And then for informed fans, she keeps dropping the ball with things like, oh, I'm sorry, Raquel, that you're mad at me about The Ultimate Fighter happened 13 years ago or whatever. I've already forgot it happened, right? But then when somebody challenges her as to what have you done for the division, what is your legacy, whatever, she goes on and says, you know, oh, the first mom to have given birth and be a champion, the first woman Ultimate Fighter winner. Well, if it doesn't matter to you and you already forgot about it, quit bringing it up. Quit bringing up that you won. If that doesn't matter to you, right? I don't believe it doesn't matter to her, but if she is telling the truth, then it only gives further evidence that she doesn't give a fuck about the division, about legacy, about future fights, anything. I want a title and Amanda Nunes or bust. If Kayla goes in there and beats Ketlen like she did Holly, or even half of that thoroughness and ferocity, Julianna is going to look even dumber for the things that she's saying. The other thing is for her to just casually blast out that Kayla's cheating and to accuse a whole gym of cheating. It's pretty gross, dude. It's pretty gross, and I don't understand why Ariel lets it go. You know, I know why he lets it go, but a dude with such a platform really shouldn't let shit like that go down. And he's gonna justify it by saying, well, I interviewed Kayla the next week to defend herself. Yeah, dude, but you shouldn't even be giving Julianna those layups to put her in that position to say it. Or you should change the direction of the conversation when she starts saying shit like that. Does anybody believe that someone grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her at American Top Team and said, I'm telling you right now, they're all shooting up in the bathroom? I mean, what gym would do that anyway? But to talk like that, dude, it's making you look bad. Julianna's talking herself into a corner and pushing herself out of this hype. And it's unfortunate because I'm doing all I can to build this fight with Raquel and Julianna. But again, if Kayla goes in there, beats Ketlen, and says, hey, whoever wins tonight, you're about to get that ass whooped. If Julianna was somehow able to win, right, I don't think she's gonna be the one, A, favored in the odds, and B, the fan favorite. But dude, you gotta remember something for the Julianna Peña fans. Julianna has not been in camp all year. She may have been in the last month or so. I'm not saying she doesn't work out. I'm saying fight camp. She may have been in the last month or so. Rocky has had a fight camp, has trained in Colorado at Elevation, that's her home, but she's also been training with Rose and has been active over the past 2.5 years. For Julianna to be the favorite on anyone's gambling card, I have a hard time seeing that. I'm not saying that she can't win. I'm not saying that she doesn't, finish Raquel in round 1 or the other direction. That's not the point. The point is, if you're favoring Julianna, it's a blind bias. And that's because you don't like Raquel for whatever reason and you like Julianna for whatever reason. Though I don't need more than 4 fingers to figure out the options as to why.
Speaking of which...
and not against America.
Speaking of which, exactly last week, right here on this program, there was a person who accused you of bad things. For those that may have missed it, can I just quickly play the clip and get your response?
Sure, please. By all means, give her more airtime.
And this is what I'm talking about. You can see Kayla roll her eyes because she knows this is all bullshit, but she's gonna keep it professional. And then when she agrees and give her more airtime during my interview, let's be sure to play her face and her voice. He can't just say this is what she said. I'm sure he would say, oh, I'm doing that because gotta be accurate in the integrity of journalism, whatever, dude. Because he sits there and gets all smiley when Kayla agrees to letting him do it. He loves this. He gets off on it. And I don't understand. He tried to do this with Raquel Pennington too after she won the belt. But she shared a real moment, a real life moment about her grandmother being sick, who has since then unfortunately passed, and he decided not to do it. But he had it all queued up, ready to go to try to get something out of Raquel. I don't know why he wants to get anything out of Kayla or Raquel, because all he does is use Julianna for sound bites. It tries to encourage this narrative for her because he wants to see Julianna beat Raquel Pennington. And from there, he wants to see Julianna lose to Kayla. And from there, he finally gets what he's hoping for, Amanda versus Kayla. Probably wants to see Kayla beat Amanda for some reason. That's alleged in my opinion.
It blows my mind that it pisses me off. Number one, it pisses me off because never once have I tested positive for anything ever in the history of my very long drug testing career. Don't fucking say things like that if you don't have hard evidence. That's a serious thing to have always competed clean. I carry myself to a high standard, building in an excuse for when I whoop her ass, Someone believe in themselves and work hard and succeed. Wow. It's fucked up.
Obviously not the first.
She got to be cheating. She's got to be cheating.
She's not the first person to say this. Does it annoy you when you read this or hear this?
It is very clear that this bugs the shit out of Kayla, and rightfully so. But she's trying to be professional throughout. And this is exactly what I said. Don't open your fucking mouth about this type of stuff if you don't know what you're talking about. Especially if you're someone that's going to lead on subtly that you inadvertently took BPC 157 so you could heal faster during your repeat injury over the past 2 years. Allegedly, in my opinion. I don't understand why anyone would side with Julianna on this, because the most rational, adult, real life take about it is coming from Kayla, the person that she is accusing of taking drugs. And again, just like Kayla says, this is fucking very serious to be throwing it out there like that. You're accusing an Olympian of, the best Olympian the United States has, by the way, of cheating, in judo, of cheating.
The VIP at the fights, you had to go to the VIP and take pictures. And so I saw her.
Did you say anything to her?
I said, hi, how are you?
Did she say anything back?
Hey.
Dude, Ariel, you can hear the smile on his face. Did she say anything back? Dude, why does he, I don't get... He doesn't fanboy like a 5th grader with anybody else except, hype around Julianna Peña. That's why I make all these jokes about him being in love with her and shit. I don't understand why he is so interested in the delusional, false, lying, completely untrue claims that Julianna constantly throws at him. Also, Kayla Harrison did a pretty good impression of Julianna smiling and saying hi. That was fucking funny.
Did you ask?
Listen, I don't have anything against a girl. I'm just
Well, I would if I were you. If someone's accusing me of cheating, I would have something against them.
I say the public takes in and now is going to spew out because Julianna Peña says I'm on steroid. So to me, I'm like, I'm not ever going to say something about someone unless I know it's true. Because
does this make you want to fight her more?
I want to fight whoever has the belt.
Mm-hmm. It seems like we're moving towards her versus Raquel maybe in October. Do you think she beats Raquel?
No.
Really?
I mean, I don't know.
And Kayla just wanting to get through the interview and be as professional as she can, Ariel wants none of it. She says, I have nothing against the girl. And he's like, no, be pissed. I'd be pissed if I were being accused of blah, 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 which is not true. People accuse Ariel of shit all the time. And he doesn't take issue with them. He ignores them. And then he will say that everyone's worth the second shot and I'm not going to hold grudges. So why are you trying to force Kayla or gaslight or lead her into this mindset that she has to have a problem personally with Julianna Peña outside of irrational psychotic accusations? Kayla is as base as it comes when it comes to this stuff. Makes sense. Don't speculate shit. Don't say someone's cheating if you don't know that. And that's what the issue is with Julianna Peña. It's not about how good of a fighter she is or isn't at this point. It shouldn't be that for anybody. It should be that, dude, she is showing very low-class character compared to everyone around her in the division. Holly Holm has been... Ariel asks Holly Holm about Julianna, and she's just like Kayla or Raquel. Can't help but roll her eyes because everyone is feeling the same way about her, and if you can't see why, it's not them. It's you. And this dude is a smart guy. He knows that. He knows that a lot of what she's saying, he knew she took the BPC 157 to Hill. He already knew that. That's why he drilled down on it further. Like, did you ever take something? No. You sure? Never? Not even when you were healing? You know, he already knew. But he lets Julianna go on there and just say the dumbest whatever shit. Now, he wouldn't let Colby Covington do that, right? You know, he'll let like Conor McGregor do that. He'll let Dustin Poirier do that. He'll let Julianna Peña do that. And this is what I'm talking about. Everyone should have their own bias and not try to hide from it and be their fans of whoever they're fans of. But when you do this professionally and you have a platform this big, in my opinion, you shouldn't do that. It's kind of shitty. Now, Ariel's not a content creator. He is a reporter, a journalist. I know a lot of people younger out there like to say that he doesn't know shit. You couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be further from the truth. Here he's disappointed that she's not singling out Julianna. Julianna was never the goal, but Ariel wants it to be the goal, which is fine as a fan, but it's not fine if you're Ariel fucking Helwani live on air. That's the problem. He's also surprised, and from what I heard, he's also surprised that she thinks that Julianna won't beat Raquel, which I don't understand why anyone would sit there and be fully convinced that Julianna's gonna roll through Raquel. Or the other way, if Raquel was going to just roll through Julianna, I wouldn't necessarily say that either. But man, dude, she's been out for so long with a long fucking injury. Why would it be shocking?
I think what my prediction is, you fight sometime in the next few months, obviously. I think Raquel and Julianna fight. You will win your fight. I don't even know. And this is, you can vouch. I've not asked you who your next opponent is. I don't even know who it is.
Know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. I don't ask these things. I like to keep secrets and surprises. And you will win that fight regardless of who you're fighting. Then you will fight for the belt and you will win that fight. And then you will fight Amanda in your first defense.
This is weird because he cheerleads Julianna Peña nonstop, but right here, Julianna, because I know you're watching, your boy just said you're gonna lose eventually no matter what and never get the Amanda fight. His prediction is it doesn't matter who Kayla's fighting next. She wins. His prediction is it doesn't matter who wins between you and Rocky. It doesn't matter who wins between Rocky and Julianna, everybody. Kayla will be there and she will beat whoever that is. How he guides this, does he not realize? I know he realizes. I don't even know why I'm framing it that way. Dude has hundreds of thousands of listeners every week, and he's just gonna throw that prediction out like it's nothing, dude. Sometimes these media members like Luke Thomas and Ariel Helwani, I feel like they at times forget, just in like moments, you know, because they're not stupid people, but they forget like they are people who have fans now. It's not just like, oh, you're a talking head and a media figure. Like, people have you ever gone into like a Luke Thomas live chat, dude? They ask him for life advice. You know what I mean? Like, if they've lost a family member or going through a breakup, these people really look up to these people. So, like, to say that their opinion or prediction, the same thing does happen with Ariel, I'm just drawing a point here, that their prediction or whatnot doesn't sway the audience one way or the other. It's absolutely fucking false, dude. And it's why Luke Thomas doesn't do predictions, by the way, or doesn't like to. But Ariel will throw this long, he just laid out the bantamweight division for the next year, all praising Kayla Harrison. Meanwhile, giving all the camera time to Julianna Peña, dude. I don't understand. I don't understand what he wants out of this. There is a champion in front of you on a 6-fight fucking win streak that you keep glossing over to make Julianna have these stupid fucking comments and make Kayla react to Julianna's comments. He's doing the same shit that happened with Myra and Raquel back in January. Everything he can to not talk about Raquel. And watch, he'll start talking about her because this shit's eventually gonna get back to everybody. Because once this fight is announced, people are gonna start looking up videos of Julianna and Raquel and Kayla. And guess who has more of those than anybody?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.